So the first week of June is in the books, and it has been an interesting week for the cruising news. We've had cruise lines change their vaccine requirements. We've had issues with the Florida versus CDC lawsuit. We've had cruise ships arriving back to the United States, and we have more cruise ships ready to start sailing here in the next month or two. And we're going to go over all of it right after this. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. So let's just jump on in with the cruise news from this previous week. We'll start with Royal Caribbean. So Royal Caribbean has kind of changed their position, and originally they had stated that they were going to go with fully vaccinated cruises, and now that has changed. Now Royal Caribbean recommends that if you are eligible for a vaccine, get a vaccine. But if you can't for any reason, you can still cruise with Royal Caribbean. You just will have to test before getting on and off the ship, and you will have additional protocols as well. Now, specifically what these protocols are going to be, Royal Caribbean states that they're going to release those here shortly. Royal Caribbean also has 2 additional ships that have been approved for test sailings. First is going to be the Mariner of the Seas, scheduled for August the 1st out of Port Canaveral, and Independence of the Seas, scheduled for August 11th out of Galveston, Texas. And these 2 ships join Royal Caribbean's ever-growing number of ships. They're going to be sailing here, like I said, in the next month to 2 months for their test sailings before they begin revenue-generating sailings. Now, the one thing that we don't yet quite know about these test sailings, are they going to be successful on the first attempt? Is the CDC going to require them to test more than one time? How long is it going to take after the test sailing for the CDC to issue them a conditional sailing certificate? And some of these answers we might not know until the test sailings are completed and we kind of see what the process is and exactly how the CDC is going to handle each and every test. Now, on Friday, we did see the Carnival Mardi Gras and Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Sea both arrive in Port Canaveral for their first time ever. A lot of fanfare, 1,500 people were there to welcome these ships, and the crews will be getting vaccinated and taking on additional crew in preparation for their future sailings as well. In other vaccination status changes, we also heard Christine Duffy on Friday morning pretty much say that she believes Carnival Cruise Line is going to have to start off with vaccinated cruises. They just weren't sure how the protocols were going to work in order to deliver the experience that they want their passengers to have. And that they were working on technology with a third party to create a passport system for the vaccination card. That way it could be uploaded prior to cruising and have it ready to go, or possibly show it directly there at the port. Again, nothing specific has been said about that yet because, of course, we still have Florida law in place that prevents the cruise lines from asking for your vaccination status prior to sailing. And the big story of the week was that the mediation between the CDC and Florida, issued by the judge in that lawsuit, failed. Neither side could come to an agreement. And look, let's be 100% honest here. Does anybody know of any time that really 2 parts of the government have sat down at the table together and ever really agreed on anything? So not really too much of a surprise that nothing came out of this mediation. Florida does not want to change its position. It believes the CDC does not have the authority to put the restraints on the cruise lines that they have. They want the conditional sail order gone, and for cruise lines to pretty much handle their own business, handle their own protocols, and conduct business the way they always have. The CDC, on the other hand, states they do have the authority. They're doing this to keep people safe. It's part of the pandemic protocols. And they state they are cooperating with the cruise lines. They're issuing permissions to do test sailings. They're clearing ships to start revenue-generated sailings with fully vaccinated crews and passengers. So they state that they are working with the cruise lines to make progress. So in the end, no agreement. Neither side agreed to anything. They walk away from the table, and now we're simply waiting for the lawsuit to go to its next stage and see if there'll be any kind of judgment on that. But honestly, cruise ships are going to start sailing probably before we hear anything on the lawsuit. So by the time it actually gets in front of a judge, it may be kind of pointless if the cruise ships are already sailing and they're already taking paying passengers. And those were the big stories from this last week. Now, a couple things I do want to talk about and a couple things I do want to mention is I've had quite a few comments this week, some of them particularly talking about how because the vaccination rules are changing, some cruise lines are allowing them, some cruise lines are now saying they're not required. People are talking about canceling cruises out in August and September and so on. My honest opinion would be just wait. This stuff is changing so fast, so rapidly. Honestly, I wouldn't cancel anything at this moment unless we're talking 2, 3, 4 weeks from now. I would hold on to anything you have booked and let's see what changes. Even these cruise lines that are talking about we're probably going to require vaccinations or we may not require vaccinations. Other than Alaska, nothing has really been, specifically targeted towards one ship. Carnival has not come out and said, oh, the Vista out of Galveston next month, going to be vaccinated. They haven't quite said that yet. So I wouldn't necessarily run out and just cancel my cruise. I'd wait until I found out exactly what's going to happen and then see if it fits your needs or doesn't. But you do you. That is just my opinion. Now, the comments are also pretty much equally divided on those that think vaccinations is a good idea and those that think vaccinations are terrible and you shouldn't get it. And quite a few comments that apparently everybody who gets the vaccination is going to die in 2 years. Don't know where they get that from, but hey, okay. So I would say to that, again, let's just wait. Stuff is changing. Right now, the conditional sale order, the vaccine requirements, the non-vaccine requirements, the protocols, whether you're going to wear a mask, not wear a mask. Chances are all of this is going to just go away here in the next few months anyway. If these cruise ships get out there, they start sailing, they don't have any problems, come November, the conditional sale order is scheduled to go away anyway, and there's always the possibility that the pandemic will be declared over with prior to November, in which case the conditional sale order goes away, or the CDC can simply make the CSO go away, and then we don't have to worry about any of these protocols. But with some cruise lines requiring vaccines and some not, it does at least give an option for everybody. May not be the option that you want, may not be the ship that you want, may not be the cruise line that you want. But if you want to cruise, there is at least an option for you, or wait, because I think it's all going to change again. It's been changing week after week after week. No reason to think it's not going to change again next week. The CDC could still issue additional protocols. They could relax restrictions even further as things continue to get better. And I honestly expect that there's a better than average chance by the end of this year, cruising is going to be fairly normal. This talk of vaccines and vaccine passports and requirements to get on and off, I think are going to be a lot less than the cruise lines are putting out right now and today. But today, they've got to start sailing. They haven't made any money in a year and a half. So some of them are going to start off with vaccinated cruises simply to bring in revenue. It's going to be required to keep the cruise industry alive. It's like any other business. They gotta make money in order to keep going. So no matter which side you fall on, that's something you gotta remember, something we all have to understand. And the cruise lines are trying to give all of us the option that works best for us. So I would just say a little bit of patience and it will get better. All right, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, let's give it a thumbs up. Have yourself a great day, and we will see you out on the high seas.